something, and then you can throw South Carolina State in the mix or North Carolina Central now. It's been for something, but with all the injuries that Bethune-Cookman has sustained this year, they have the first and second string quarterback, they've been injured. The starting running back, I don't even think he's played this year. So it's kind of, they talk about the parity in the MEAC. Or just parity in sports in general. This is kind of crazy, man, when you think about a team that's won a share of or all of the MEAC, the last 4 out of 7 years, and now they haven't even won a game.
Yeah, this is it's an interesting matchup because I think that you look at the records. Hey, Bethune should get beat. They lost to Savannah State, which probably shouldn't happen to them, but they didn't see it coming. But they're backed up against the wall, and I think what they're going to do is they've taken the unfortunate circumstance where the game versus South Carolina State was canceled, was postponed because of the hurricane, so they gave them an extra week. They've gotten healthy, and they realize if they lose one more game during the regular season and conference play, their season's over. They know that. So this team is going to come out here and give you everything that they have. They're playing at home in Florida. A&T's coming in there riding high, and I know that head coach Terry Sims and his boys, their mentality is, we're going to bring something to Tariq Cohen. They're not going to let Tariq Cohen beat him. They're going to surround him at all costs. So I think Bethune's going to come out late on the line. I don't know if they're going to win, and I think that's where if A&T's a true champion, they'll knock them out. But I think Bethune-Cookman's going to come in here and fight because they're backed into a corner. Everything's against them. They have to win, and all that's said and done, they've only lost one game in conference. So they figure if we can run out the table in conference and maybe make that game versus South Carolina State at the end of the year, which got postponed, means something, that's what they're going to try and do. So don't count them out yet. If they lose this game, yes, it's going to be tough hide.
Now,
but if they can win, they can be right there in the thick of things.
Now, as a MEAC alum, and you see these games every week, Jay, is it time for the MEAC to have a championship game? I mean, let's just be honest, man. Like, it's a shame that ESPN had to make the MEAC lock into this deal to make sure they sent the true number one team. Is it time for a championship?
I think it is. I think it's getting that way. I just don't know. I mean, and we got to double check. And I know, I've had some talks with their office. I believe they need to have one more member.
Right. I think they have 11 right now.
Yeah, so you need to get that one, and they're looking, and they really are looking. I think that's coming down the road. It'll be there, but give credit. One thing I rarely do is question Commissioner Thomas. He makes good moves before this conference, and he's got the best interest of the conference when he makes those decisions. So I don't think he's going to take somebody just to have him come on board and not be a success. So they're in a good position right now. I still like the deal they have right now. Let's suppose A&T and North Carolina Central end up with tied records at the end of the year, and they're both 9-2. I would like to see, whoever wins the head-to-head, obviously go to Celebration Bowl. But I think the conference needs to push now to make sure that other team that goes 9-2 or whatever great record they have gets that bid into the FCS playoffs to represent the conference.
Right. Because
the MEAC they were closing the gap in terms of playoff football. They were really closing the gap. It wasn't the days where they were getting beat 45-3 and scores like that. I mean, they had a couple blocks in there, but they were really starting to close the gap. South Carolina State was on the edge. Bethune-Cookman was on the edge. The Hampton teams are on the edge. So I think right now what they have, if they get behind it and they start playing some good non-conference games, they still can put a team in the playoffs, a second-place team, because nobody gets mad when the CAA conference gets 5 teams in. So why are we just limiting ourselves saying we're only going to have one team in postseason football? If our conference play gets good enough where we can get multiple teams in the postseason, I think we need to push for that.
All right, Jay. So Tuesday we had the conversation with the president on sports, race, and achievement, which was taped at North Carolina A&T. I know you were on hand for the event. It was hosted by Stan Verrett. Now, I'm gonna give you my opinion, then I want to get yours. All right. So first off, because it was at A&T, I thought the conversation was going to be a little bit more HBCU based. I'm not sure. I thought that we'll hear some stuff about, coming up in the next few years, if it's a Democratic White House, we're going to add this money for HBCUs, and we're going to do this to try to even the playing field between HBCUs and PWIs. But I really didn't get that, even though the president, who's caught a lot of flack about his support of HBCUs, did talk about, some of the financing for the colleges and universities in the second half of the show. But overall, I was quite pleased with the conversation. I like Barack Obama. I think he's a pretty down-to-earth guy. But, being there, as you were, let me get your opinion on it.
I think, first, I thought the Undefeated did a great job of hosting that. It was fantastic. It was historic, not easy to do. And this is going to make me sound simple. You know what I really like, and get your opinion on it. I like coming out of commercial break, those clips they were showing.
Absolutely.
When they would show the band and they would show the story. I thought, that was my favorite part of it all. And I had seen that. So when I'm in the audience watching, I'm like, oh, man, that's sweet. That was good to have. And that was historical from the perspective. So I thought that gave you a little bit more HBCU culture than possibly the conversation did. But, I would say there were a number of people on hand there for the president's staff. And, when you're dealing with the president, you're not talking about your governor, your senator. There's going to be kind of a little bit of a structured conversation. Time is of the essence because he had to go to another pep rally for Hillary Clinton that day. And he gave us the time. He was very cordial. I think what you probably didn't see on TV, the number of celebrities that were in the audience.
Yeah, other than Terrence J. Other than Terrence J, I didn't see anybody. Yeah,
Doug Williams was there. Bomani Jones was there. Obviously, I was there. Rob Broadway was there. Tariq Cohen was in the audience. So there were a lot of people there. And, even my mom said, I barely saw you. But it was kind of ironic that they didn't capture that. The HBCUs, it's tough. I talked to some people in the staff, and he's done some good funding for the HBCU initiatives. He had somebody there from his staff that talked about the HBCU initiative. And, we need to, it's tough because I feel like old school. It all starts with us. Yep. I mean, we can't ask people to help us with our institutions if we don't get money back, period. And I tell everybody, they don't ask you for $5,000. Just give them something. If people gave $20 a month to your HBCU, or even make that $50 a year, it goes so much further. So, yes, we need funding because it all comes down to the green. But, I think it's tough because he's an outsider. He's not an HBCU guy. But, it all starts with us. I wonder what he would do if he said, hey, you know what? For every dollar you all raise, I'll match it. Then maybe that'll get us going. But we need something like that. And I don't think it starts with the president. I think it starts with us realizing the need to support our alma maters.
Absolutely. He is Jay Walker of ESPN. You can follow him on Twitter at JWalkerSky. He'll be calling today's 1 o'clock kickoff between North Carolina A&T and Bethune-Cookman. Now, you have this thing that you do. Before I let you go, you had this thing, give me five. Jay's give me five. I saw you,
yeah.
And I'm a band guy. I went to Alabama State. I was in the band, so I saw you do your 5 band names. I was like, okay, Jay got a good look. 5. Okay, so look. So December 17th. Is the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl, the second annual, if you will.
Yeah.
Now we got the SWAC versus the MEAC. So give me your 5 teams that we need to be on the lookout for. Is SWAC or MEAC? Give me 5, Jay.
First of all, Jay's give me 5. So don't try and take my ideas, man. All right, I call Rob's give me 5. Jay's give me 5. And that's what I have to remind people, especially the folks. Can you imagine what they said when I was down in North Carolina A&T calling their game, and I did the 5 best homecoming?
Right.
And they just don't want to believe that their homecoming is not as good as Howard's. So
that's a little bias. There's a little home cooking in there.
The facts are what it is. Like if you go around Greensboro, they got signs that say GHO, greatest homecoming on earth.
Right.
Ours is so good we don't have to advertise it. We have the most famous homecoming on earth, if that's the case. But they got to see it. But give me 5, and that's kind of what we do. We start the discussion and debate. I love it when people go on to my Twitter handle, and you mentioned it earlier, Jay Walker Sky, and talk about it. Because, it's only 5. Somebody's going to get shortchanged. But the 5 teams to watch for the Celebration Bowl, I'm going to put one on the bubble first, because I always put a team on the bubble, which is a shame. It's Southern University. They're not eligible for it, but, they could very well knock out Grambling from going to the SWAC championship game or the Celebration Bowl. I think the number 5 team you got to take a look at would be coming out of the MEAC. Watch out for South Carolina State. Slow start. They're not doing much. You know, the record's 2-3 now, but they still got to play A&T. You know, they're still going to have something to say about it. So I think it's a down year for them, but I think they can really do something. Number 4 would be Prairie View A&M. But actually, no. How about this one? This is going to shock you. How about Alcorn?
Yeah, I like Alcorn.
Look bad, but Alcorn, keep in mind, they're on the East.
And the East is terrible. It's terrible.
It's down. It's down. So Alcorn is probably, in all likelihood, they're going to be in Houston for the SWAC championship. So once you're in the SWAC championship, you're a game away from making it to Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl.
Absolutely.
So I will put Alcorn right there. Then I think you got to put North Carolina Central, because it looks like a 2-team race in the MEAC between Central and A&T. So Central's going to be 3. Number 2 has to be the favorite right now in the West, which would be Grambling. And then number 1, obviously, you know, the reigning HBCU national champions out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, North Carolina A&T. I don't know if they're going to go wire to wire. I just don't. Somewhere along the line, I think they're going to lose a game, and that Aggie-Eagle game is going to have something on it. But then again, this team may be good enough to do something that hasn't been done in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I believe
you agree with that list?
Yeah,
Did I leave anybody off my list?
Yeah, I mean, you started out with Prairie View, then you threw them out of 4, but Prairie View has a really good team too. I mean, but the whole thing is they lost to Grambling, so that's the head-to-head. Yeah, that's the head-to-head right there.
Yeah.
All right, he is Jay Walker of ESPN. He'll be covering today's 1 o'clock kickoff between the reigning HBCU national champion North Carolina A&T Aggies and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Again, 1 o'clock kickoff, ESPN3. Follow him on Twitter at JWalkerSky. And Jay, since you'll be at the Magic City Classic, I'm definitely going to have to make sure that I come check you out.
Definitely, man. Hey, everybody else needs to check out that game. You've seen it. You know what it's all about.
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. Live and live in color, brother. I never miss it.
Yeah, hey, can I is it too late for me to put Howard on my Gimme 5 list?
Yes.
I had to try, man. If you're not winning games, you got to try and sneak it in the best way you can.
No, it's all good, man. He is Jay Walker. Thank you for joining us on the show, man. And we're going to have you back on right before we get ready for the Celebration Bowl.
All right, man. Take care. Have a good rest of the season.
All right. Thanks, sir. All right, great stuff right there from Jay Walker. Again, follow him on Twitter at JWalkerSky. Great dude right there, former quarterback, Howard University, HBCU national champion. The list goes on and on, his resume list, that is. Just a great brother. We appreciate him for joining us. And here's a little nugget for you when it comes to this A&T Bethune-Cookman game, because you know I like to give you these little crispy nuggets. And if you like some dipping sauce, I got that too. What you want? Polynesian, barbecue? What you want? Yeah, here you go. When it comes to today's matchup, this is the 38th time that the two teams have faced each other. Today's game is also the first time in 4 years that these two teams will play each other in Daytona Beach. North Carolina A&T has not won in Daytona since 2003, so there's that. And as Jay Walker just mentioned, even though Bethune-Cookman hasn't won a game, a BCU upset could have some serious implications on the winner of the MEAC, which the Wildcats still have a very, very, very slim chance of winning. All right, so switching gears just a little bit. Coming up today at 3:30, we have a pair of one-win teams hooking up in SWAC play when Alabama A&M visits the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. So coming up on the other side, we're going to talk with James Spady, the head football coach of those Alabama A&M University Bulldogs, about today's matchup. This is the HBCU Report being heard via Spreaker.com. We are powered by SportsNewsandBrews.com, your source for sports, black news, political news, and the latest on your favorite craft beers. Log on to SportsNewsandBrews.com right now. In addition to Spreaker, we are also live via the TuneIn radio app. You can relive any of our previous episodes via TuneIn and the Google Play Music app for Android. This is the HBCU Report, and we will be right back after these words.
It's the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway. HBCU sports fan, you finally have a voice. The HBCU experience lives here. This is the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
This is the HBCU Report, being heard via Spreaker.com. We are powered by SportsNewsandBrews.com, your official source for sports, black news, political news, and the latest on your favorite craft beers. Log on to SportsNewsandBrews.com right now. And if you log on to SportsNewsandBrews.com right now, you'll see all of the stories that we've been working on the past week. It was announced a couple of weeks ago right here on the HBCU Report that the CIAA will be moving their championship